Live from Fenway Park in Boston, the New England Sports Network presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Today, a day-night doubleheader. In Game 1, it's the Red Sox against the Texas Rangers. Greetings, everyone. I'm Bob Kurtz. Welcome to the ballpark. Well, pull up a chair, sit back, and relax. A lot of baseball coming your way from Fenway Park today. This is the first of two, a day-night separate admission affair. 1 at 1 this afternoon. That's the game we have for you right now, followed by the 6 o'clock game tonight. And a rather interesting matchup featuring the Red Sox and the Texas Rangers. Actually, a very important game for both squads. Take a look at the wild card standings. The Red Sox are 6.5 games up on Texas. Also 6.5 games ahead of the Baltimore Orioles. Those are the two closest pursuers. Texas also has a race of its own out west, where Texas has lost 3 games in the standings over the last week to the Anaheim Angels. The Angels now lead the Texas Rangers by 1 game. Joining me now, as always, Jerry Remy. Interesting matchup. Pedro in Game 1 and Saberhagen in Game 2.
Well, it is. You know, when you look at the Pedro starting Game 1, I think the Red Sox made that switch today because they wanted to make sure they get a guy that goes deep into the ball game, and hopefully the bullpen won't be used heavily in that first game and kind of save them for Game 2 if they need him in Game 2. But this matchup with the Red Sox and Texas is very big. You know, players will say, well, it's not a big game. We just got to win our game. That's not the case. I mean, these are very big games. You want to put as much distance between that team in second place. And, of course, for the Rangers, they're very big. You know, every time they look at the standings, they don't know if they're in first place or second place, and they have to play the Red Sox, who is leading the wild card right now. So they're all very big games for these teams, especially at this stage of the season.
Well, you mentioned that word, second base. And at second base for the Red Sox here this afternoon in Game 1, Mike Benjamin. Boy, what a revolving door it has been at second base for the Red Sox this year. We touched base on that with Jimmy Williams before the game.
You look at that second base spot with Fry going down, and then Lemke getting a late start, and then Benjamin playing, Maloney coming and playing and doing a good job. He gets hurt. Now Donnie comes off the disabled list after getting knocked out, and Pawtucket goes from their DL to our active list and works out a few days. But overall, that spot has really been very, very productive. I don't know if I'd want to be a second baseman here, though, right now, the way things are gone. But overall, those kids have really done an outstanding job out there.
Your glove is still oiled?
No, not me, but Jimmy Williams very fortunate because every guy that's gone in has really done a nice job for him, especially defensively. Now, Benjamin, who's had over a week off back in the lineup, we got to remember that this is the first time he's been almost an everyday player all season. You know, both at shortstop with Nomars and DL, and, of course, at second base. And those guys have a tendency to wear down. So I think the time off's going to do him good. He's going to probably get most of the starts the remainder of the way, but he's also going to get time off. And the way Sadler was played, you don't feel bad about putting him in the lineup.
So we are set to play ball. Coming up, game number 1. Pedro Martinez goes to the mound for the Red Sox. John Burkett pitches for the Texas Rangers. All coming your way next, right here on NESN.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
See, if this grape represents your initial investment, this could be your return in 5 years. And in 10 years, if you diversify.
So, how many years will it take to get to this?
You'd be surprised at what you can get in the supermarket. Full service.
A blast!
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. By Mobile, introducing the fastest way to get gas. Mobile Speed Pass. It's free and it's only at Mobile. By Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. By Hoover, nobody gets to dirt like Hoover, nobody. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service, we deliver. Great day for baseball here at Fenway Park. Sox and Rangers will play 2 in Game 1. The Texas line card is posted by their skipper. Johnny Oates looks like this. Tom Goodwin will lead off. Mark McLemore follows. Then Rusty Greer, Juan Gonzalez. Will Clark's at first base. Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. Todd Zeal at third. Mike Sims in right. And Royce Clayton will be the Rangers shortstop.
And the defense here this afternoon for the Red Sox. John Ballantyne will be at third base. Nomar Garciaparra, the shortstop. Mike Benjamin is at second. And Mo Vaughn is at first. Left to right, Troy O'Leary, Darren Lewis, and Darren Bragg. Scott Hatterberg behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hander Pedro Martinez. 15 wins, 4 losses, a 2.91 ERA. That ties him for the one spot in the league with Chuck Finley of the Anaheim Angels. Pedro held opponents to a new 219 batting average. He has 186 strikeouts, which is currently second in the league. Of course, Randy Johnson still leads in that category with 213. The last win for Pedro was back on August the 1st. That was against the Anaheim Angels. Since that time, a loss to the Texas Rangers. He did strike out 13 in that last meeting against Texas, and a no decision last time out against the Minnesota Twins. Allowed 10 hits in that game and 6 earned runs.
Today's umpires brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation, the most timely and cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes. That's not the 4 umpires that we have. We have Tim Cheetah behind the plate, Ed Hickox at first, Lazaro Diaz at second, and Fielding Corbett being the umpire at third. Goodwin grounds it to second base. Mike Benjamin to Mo Vaughn. 1 pitch, 1 out. So Pedro goes to work in a hurry, keeps Goodwin and his speed off the base paths as we get underway. First of 2 here at Fenway Park on this warm August afternoon. Last night's game, of course, rained out. It'll be made up as the second half of a day-night doubleheader following at 6 o'clock tonight. Here is Mark McLemore, 269 on the year, 4 homers and 46 runs batted in. The Texans are making their way on a very difficult road trip. It began in Cleveland, continued over the weekend in New York. Well, they have arrived here in Boston. That's a strike, says Tim Cheetah, and it's 0-2. Texas is 4-6 so far, and a very difficult stretch for them, including games against Boston, Cleveland, and New York. That's all they're playing. That includes the split, the 2-2 split with Boston before leaving for this road trip. Johnny Oates' club has struggled recently. They're 2-5 in their last 7. Anaheim, over the same period of time, has gone 7-2 and picked up 3 games in the standings. So actually, it's the Angels on top now, ahead of Juan Gonzalez and company. Johnny Oates' crew is in second place in the West, a game behind Anaheim, 6.5 behind the Red Sox in the wild card chase.
It's amazing, Bob, when the Rangers made those trades right before the deadline, everybody figured they were going to run away with the West. But you got to tip the Anaheim Angels, even with all the injuries, they remain top.
Hot shot speared at second base by Benjamin. Benjamin making his first start at second after sitting out 8 games and already has a put out and an assist. Well, you might have 2 batters this afternoon.
Might as well try the guy that hasn't been in the lineup, right? It's been an extended rest for Benjamin over the last week to 10 days. And he gets tested right away. A ground ball, then this line drive by McLemore to get the second out of the inning.
Well, Martinez gets the first 2 Rangers this afternoon. Here's Rusty Greer. Breaking ball from Pedro. Ball 1. Even 300 for Greer on the year. Double figures with 10 home runs, 79 runs batted in. Greer has been swinging a fairly hot stick, 7 hits in his last 3 games, as his average, as you saw, up to that 300 figure for the season. Martinez grabs the outside corner. It's 2-1.
And Pedro looking to bounce back after a tough start last time out against the Minnesota Twins.
Ground ball right side. Continues to be a busy top of the first for Mike Benjamin. 1, 2, 3 go the Texans. Rangers are scoreless. The Red Sox are coming up. And it's Troy O'Leary in left field. Mike Stanley, the designated hitter. Darren Bragg in right. Scott Hatterberg behind the plate, and Mike Benjamin at second base.
And the defense this afternoon for the Texas Rangers. Todd Zeile will be at third base. Royce Clayton, the shortstop. Mark McLemore at second and Will Clark at first. Left to right, Rusty Greer, Tom Goodwin, and Mike Sims. Ivan Rodriguez, the catcher, and on the mound, John Burkett. Burkett leads the American League in most earned runs allowed, 104. Third in total runs, 110, and tied for 5th in most hits at 181. But he is 1-0 on the season against the Red Sox. Beat Brett Saberhagen in Arlington on August the 6th. Did allow home runs in that game to Mo Vaughn and Mike Stanley.
Now the Red Sox are facing the 2 pitchers in this doubleheader. John Burkett here in game 1 and Rick Helling in game 2. Same 2 pitchers that beat him last week in Texas in the first 2 games of that series. Arlington. Darren Lewis now leads off for the Red Sox. John Valentin, Mo Vaughn follow here in bottom half of inning number 1. First pitch by Burkett is a strike, says Tim Cheetah. Burkett is 33 years of age. In his second tour of duty with the Rangers, they reacquired him from Florida last year. Burkett missing down and away, a ball and a strike. 7 wins, 12 losses for Burkett, coming off a season last year in which he won 9 and lost 12. One thing about Burkett is he is generally around the plate. Does not walk a whole lot of people.
And a lot of times when you're that type of pitcher, without overpowering stuff, you give up home runs. He's allowed 18 on the season.
Little looper here off the bat of Lewis. On comes Goodwin, and Goodwin will be able to make the catch. Only the speed of Goodwin in center field keeps Darren Lewis off the base pass.
Looked like just a little bit of a late break by Goodwin in center. It looked like the swing fooled him, but by the time he got going, he had quite a bit of ground to cover, and he makes a nice play to keep Darren Lewis off first base. Sliding catch, able to close the glove up before it hits the ground and keep the baseball in the glove.
Yeah, it looked like that one was going to fall, but dice for Darren Lewis, Red Sox. 1 gone. Here's John Valentin, who takes a strike on the outside corner. Valentin 259 on the year, 14 home runs for John and 51 runs batted in. Red Sox playing the final 2 games of the homestand. They've gone 3-3 so far. A 2-game split with Kansas City, a 4-game split with the Minnesota Twins. Sox have hot shot foul down the third base line. Nice and warm here at Fenway this afternoon. Temperature supposed to be in the mid-80s. The humidity is up there.
And a long day of baseball for Jimmy Williams and everybody else on that field.
Here's the 1-2 now from Burkett. Waste a fastball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Valentin. Red Sox 71 wins, 50 losses on the year. They're 20 games behind the Yankees in the East, but 6.5 up on both the Rangers and Orioles in the Wild. Win in center field. Glasses on, makes the catch. 2 gone. Base is empty, 2 outs. Mo Vaughn comes to the plate, hitting at .334 on the year. That's 3rd in the American League behind Bernie Williams and Todd Walker. 32 home runs for Mo and 83 runs batted in. Vaughn is 3rd in hitting. He is 6th, or 7th rather, in the home run derby, led by Ken Griffey Jr. of the Seattle Mariners with 42. It's a strike. Bernie Baseball, they're calling him in New York these days, leads the American League at .355. We just saw Todd Walker here over the weekend. Ivan Rodriguez here as well today with the Texas Rangers. 2 of the best hitting clubs in the American League matched up here, the Red Sox and the Texas Rangers. Vaughn chased one there and is down now 0-2.
Red Sox 3rd in the league in runs scored. The Texas Rangers 2nd. Of course, the Yankees lead the league in runs scored. Texas has the most hits of anybody in the American League. The Red Sox are 3rd in that category.
1 ball, 2 strikes. John Burkett is a native of New Brighton, Pennsylvania, lives in South Lake, Texas. Big 6'3" right-hander, and he gets Mo Vaughn on strikes to end the bottom half of inning number 1. We've played 1 here at Fenway. Rangers and Red Sox are scoreless.
He is tied at 36, and Juan Gonzalez will be leading off here in the second. Is tied with Canseco with 33. McGuire with 47. Sosa 47. Greg Vaughn 39. Galarraga 38. And Vinny Castillo of Colorado 36. The top 5 in the National League.
Here's Juan Gonzalez, who had 101 of those 119 runs batted in by the All-Star break, but has slowed considerably here in the second half. They're no longer talking about Hack Wilson. As a matter of fact, Sammy Sosa has tied him, Gonzalez, for the major league lead in runs batted in. Gonzalez without a ribby in his last 5 games. Steps into this one, though, hit pretty well to center field. Lewis is back, looking up, and there's an RBI for Gonzalez. He knocks himself in. A long home run for Gonzalez to center, and the Rangers take a 1-0 lead.
Well, maybe the day off did Gonzalez some good. He was struggling, 3 for 17 over his last 5 games, and as you mentioned, Bob, had not driven in a run. And he'll take this pitch from Pedro and take it deep to center field for the base hit, right on the top of the camera area, and gives the Texas Rangers the 1-0 lead.
The bomb by Gonzalez. Texas jumps to the 1-0 advantage here over Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox, as Will Clark takes a called strike. Clark at .301 on the year, 16 home runs and 78 runs batted in. Clark quickly down to Martinez, 2 strikes. Sox need some innings out of a starting pitcher. Last 4 ball games, the 4 starters have combined to go only 18 1/3. The bullpen used heavily. Did enjoy the day off yesterday because of the rainout, but of course Joe Kerrigan's troops face a doubleheader here today against Texas.
That was the 22nd home run that Martinez has allowed this season.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 16 home runs for Clark, the most he has had since 1995, when he also had 16. The last year that he hit more than 16 in a season was 91, when he had 29 home runs. But his power has faded here in the 90s. He is down on strikes here against Martinez, who gets his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, we mentioned the last time Pedro faced Texas, it was 13 strikeouts. That's a season high for Martinez. He'll stay with the fastball away from Clark there to pick up his first of this game. I believe that pitch that Gonzalez hit may have been a changeup for the home run.
Whatever it was, it went a long way. You mentioned off the top of the camera position out in center field. So a home run and a strikeout so far, all or nothing for the Texas Rangers here in the top of the second. Here's Pudge Rodriguez. Rodriguez skies one down the right field line, foul. Another large gathering here at Fenway. We're expecting a near sellout crowd. The only seats that I really see open are out in the bleachers, and of course it's a very hot day here at Fenway. And other than that, another 30,000 plus. Maybe a late arriving bus or whatever out in the bleacher area, but this one will either be a near sellout or another sellout here at Fenway Park this afternoon. Reminder again, if you had tickets for the ball game last night, they are good as well for the game tonight at 6 o'clock, or you can exchange them for another ball game of your choice later on this year at the Red Sox box office. But the Sox and Rangers play again tonight at 6 o'clock in game number 2. Late swing by Rodriguez. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Kind of a homer drought for Rodriguez. He has gone 66 games since hitting his last home run. That was back on May 23rd against Kansas City.
Still has the average up, though. He's just 1 behind Vaughn in the hitting derby with that .326 average. A slew of doubles. Whoa! In tight from Martinez, and Rodriguez has to hit the deck.
There's a cut fastball away on the last pitch. This time the fastball inside, and that just missed, hitting the hands of Ivan Rodriguez. And he's going to take a little time to regroup after that inside fastball.
Line drive right field. That'll hang in the air there for Darren Bragg. Makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
Pedro went back to the breaking ball after that inside fastball. Wasn't a real good one. It stayed upstairs. Ball hit hard by Rodriguez, but right at Darren Bragg.
The veteran Todd Zeile, who has had difficulty since coming over to the Rangers. His .208 average, does have 3 home runs, but is hitless in his last 10 at bats. Takes a called strike. His 3rd team of the year began with the Dodgers, was traded to the Florida Marlins in that Piazza trade, and now on to the American League and the Texas Rangers. Rolls it to Nomar Garcia-Parra at short. Garcia-Parra to Vaughn. Rangers get 1 on a long home run by Juan Gonzalez. A 1-0 lead for the Texans after 1.5.
Hey, guys, got a minute?
Sure.
Nomar was knocked down here a couple of games ago, you recall, by Frankie Rodriguez of the Minnesota Twins on Saturday afternoon.
And has not had a hit since that point. Was 0 for 2 in the game after that, and then went 0 for 3 in the game here Sunday.
Garcia-Parra hitless in consecutive games only once this year. That was against the Mets, as you recall, back in early June. Up high, ball 4. Leadoff man aboard for the Red Sox.
That's hard to do. That's only the 20th time, or 21st time, that Garcia-Parra has walked this season.
Number 25.
I'll check that again. That's not correct either. That's the 27th time that he's walked. He's just piling them up now, Bob.
7 here in the last 10 seconds.
I can't even read my own writing.
Here's Troy O'Leary. 269 on the year, 20 home runs and 65 runs batted in for O'Leary. O'Leary has been stuck on that 20 home run figure for a while, but he is the first Red Sox outfielder since Ellis Burks in 1990 to hit 20 or more home runs in a season. Hard to believe with the great history of heavy hitting outfielders that we've had here in Boston over the great history of this club, but not since Ellis Burks in 1990. Until O'Leary did it this year, has a Red Sox outfielder hit 20 home runs. There have been years here where all of the outfielders had 20 or more home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike here on O'Leary. Remember the days of Jim Rice and Tony Armas and company not that long ago.
Dwight Evans, Jim Rice, Fred Lynn. You mentioned Tony Armas, Yastrzemski.
Dwight Evans, mentioned him. But Burks in 1990 hit 20, not until this year when O'Leary popped number 20 and another Red Sox outfielder accomplished that feat. 2 balls and a strike. Fly ball left field. Rusty Greer is there for the Rangers. Greer will make the catch. 1 out in the inning, and back to first base, Nomar Garcia-Parra. Not much other activity in Major League Baseball this afternoon. Tom Caron is with us, Jerry, and he is going to update the soaps for us instead.
Oh, great. That'd be very good. Days of Our Lives starts at 1 o'clock, so we might want to get an update, you know, before we get out of this inning, maybe.
Well, a lot of you that generally watch the soaps at this time are with us for baseball this afternoon, and maybe Tom can keep us appraised of what's going on around the dial. Days of Our Lives, All My Children, and all the rest of them. Mike Stanley, the hitter for the Red Sox, with Garcia-Parra at first base and 1 out. Ground ball to third. Zeal goes to second for 1. McLemore back to Clark. The around the horn 5-4-3. Ending double play. 2 in the books from Fenway in the afternoon portion of a day-night doubleheader. Rangers lead the Sox
1-0 lead. This fall and winter will be Nexon's 15th year of covering Boston Bruins hockey. Dale Arnold and Gord Kluzak will bring in 38 regular season games and 2 preseason exhibitions. The first faceoff comes September 30th against the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Worcester Centrum. It's Boston Bruins hockey. It's right around the corner, and it's on NESN.
Mike Sims, fine young outfielder, leading off for the Rangers here. .348 batting average for Sims. He's having a heck of a year. 14 homers and 36 runs batted in. Last ball in from Martinez. Sims has a dozen hits and 25 trips to the plate over his last 7 games. He's raised his average 30 points in that time. There's a strike. It's 1-1.
But a few curveballs for Pedro in the early going. We don't generally see him throw a lot of those in the early part of a ball game.
Chopped to short. Nomar Garcia-Parra with the throw. Mo Vaughn with a catch over at first base in time to get Sims, and there's 1 away. This is the first double dip for the Texas Rangers this year. Matter of fact, it's only the 2nd time in Rangers club history that they've ever participated in one of these day-night affairs. The other one was August the 9th of last year at Cleveland.
Batting 9th, number 11.
This is only Texas. Last night was the 2nd game that was postponed on the Rangers this year. And one earlier in Chicago, which will be made up later this year as part of a doubleheader with the White Sox. So this is double dip number 1 for Texas here in '98. The Red Sox had one earlier against Cleveland, a day-night affair at Jacobs Field. Sox won game 1, and the Indians game 2 in a rain-shortened affair. Major League Baseball, for some unexplained reason, does not recognize in official stats as a day-night doubleheader as being a doubleheader. But believe me, it is a doubleheader. 2 games in 1 day. No matter how you cut it. Up high, 2 balls and a strike. And that's foul back. That'll even the count at 2-2.
I think Ed Brickley may have just made an error on that foul ball that went into, I believe, his area down there. Strikeout leaders: Randy Johnson, who of course is at Houston, Pedro, Clemens, Finley, and Cone. Familiar names.
Swing and a miss. Add 1 to Pedro's total. He has 2 now on the afternoon as he gets Royce Clayton.
Yeah, the last 4 outs that Martinez got, it's been on the breaking ball to Rodriguez, Zeal, the ground out by Sims, and now the strikeout to Clayton.
Number 24, the center fielder, Tom Goodwin.
2 outs here in the Texas 3rd. Top of the order, and Tom Goodwin. Goodwin looks at ball 1. Goodwin went after the first pitch of the ball game and grounded out to Mike Benjamin at second base. This one hit to Mo Vaughn at first. Vaughn wins the race to the bag. A 1-2-3. Top of the 3rd for Pedro Martinez. We played 2.5 here at Fenway in the afternoon portion of a double dip. Texas leads the Red Sox 1-0.
The latest Major League Baseball PC games from Microsoft. Compliments of Coca-Cola. 24-hour ticketing. Call 617-482-4SOX.
Yeah, with the lights on here at Fenway, we get underway Bottom half of the third inning. Bottom third of the order for the Red Sox. Darren Bragg, Scott Hatteberg, and Mike Benjamin. Some clouds rolling in, getting a little darker. Darren Bragg takes one for a called strike. 291 for Bragg, 8 homers and 47 runs batted in. Bragg scored a career high 4 runs and had a 2-homer game August the 8th down at Arlington against the Rangers. Some of the clouds here in the area on this warm August afternoon. Bragg will foul it back.
So one thing I could promise you, the Red Sox don't want a rain delay here in the first game. With the second game beginning at 6 o'clock, because both games are supposed to draw big crowds, and you don't want that confusion.
Texas with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the third inning of game 1. And Bragg is down on strikes, and Burkett has his second victim of the afternoon. He got Vaughn earlier.
Gets a couple of strikes on Bragg, goes up and out of the strike zone with the fastball. Bragg tries to hold up the swing, can't quite do it. And Burkett looks very sharp here in the early going.
Scott Hatteberg.
Tough when you start after that high fastball. Awful difficult to check that swing.
Scott Hatteberg takes a called strike. 283 for Scott, 10 homers and 32 runs batted in. Hatteberg had a big game against the Rangers the last time he saw Texas pitching. Season high 3 hits. Back on the Sunday night game, that finale of the 4-game series the Sox played down in Arlington. Burkett may have struggled elsewhere this year, but he has been impressive against the Red Sox. Pitching well here this afternoon, as mentioned, had a win his last time out against Boston. Hatteberg fouls this one down the left field line. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
Both teams have a very long day ahead of them. You mentioned the split doubleheader, and then the Texas Rangers will head back home to Texas after this game. That's a good, what, 3:15 flight. And the Red Sox, of course, head out to Kansas City for that brief 2-game series before going to Minnesota for the weekend. So after the night off, a long day today.
Peel made of the third base umpire. That's fielding Colbreth down there. Says he did not go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas is mentioned in its toughest stretch of the year. They're in a stretch of 17 consecutive games where the only teams they play are the Red Sox, the Indians, and the Yankees. That will conclude soon, and then their schedule lightens considerably as it's fouled back. Texas is 2-4 so far on this trip, splitting 2 games with the Indians. Dropping 3 of 4 in New York. Whoa. Not by much. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty good pitch here by John Burkett, right to the outside corner, but Tim Cheetah calling it a tad outside.
Down on strikes, though, goes Hatteberg, and that's 3 now for Burkett, who gets both hitters so far this inning, Bragg and now Hatteberg.
Well, after the fastball that just missed the outside corner, Burkett back inside.
Number 28.
With the fastball to pick up back-to-back strikeouts.
Benjamin.
Another half swing by Bragg, half swing by Hatteberg, and a couple of quick outs.
Mike Benjamin back in the lineup for the Red Sox this afternoon. Benjamin, first ball hitting. Zeal flags it down at third, has the long throw and got him. What a play at third base by Zeal. Big stretch by Clark in time to get Benjamin. And 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox. We've played 3 here at Fenway. Juan Gonzalez home run is the difference.
It's a full month in September on NESN. The Red Sox head down the stretch as they host the Mariners for 2 on the 1st and 2nd. Both 7 o'clock starts on NESN. The Yankees come to Fenway on the 8th and 9th. 7 o'clock starts as well. The Sox hit the road for the last time. On the 15th, they're in the Bronx to take on the Yankees at 7:30. On the 16th, they head to Baltimore to battle the Orioles at 7. The May Devil Rays start the final week of the season with 3 at Fenway, all 7 o'clock starts. The Sox host the Orioles on the 24th at 7, and NESN wraps up its 98 season on the 26th at 5. Fox Baseball Thursday has 4 games from around the majors. The Bruins kick off the exhibition season on NESN September 30th against the Penguins at 7:30. September means college football, and NESN is your ticket to a full slate of games. And keep up with all the news from Major League Baseball and college football on Fox Sports News and NESN Sports Desk 7 days a week. September's a big month, and NESN is your ticket.
We get busy.
Roll that videotape.
Action. Reaction.
Oh, baby.
Woo. I will be ready.
Sports satisfaction. And Earl Wright. Kevin Frazier.
Fox Sports News. Prime time.
We are there. Fox Sports News. Weeknights. Check local listings.
3 complete, 1-0 Texas lead. Check out NESN.com for the most complete coverage of New England sports. Get the latest information about the region's professional teams. Read the best features on New England's hottest outdoor sports. For all this and more, just surf on over to NESN.com, your online ticket to New England sports.
As Mark McLemore leads off the 4th inning here for the Texans. Rusty Greer, Juan Gonzalez to follow. See, McLemore has struggled over his last 13 games. Quickly down 2 strikes to Pedro. One and 2 the count. McLemore starting for the 95th time this year at second base. Spent some time on the disabled list in June, 7th through the 22nd with a pulled left hamstring.
Sat out a couple of games against the Red Sox down in Texas. The knees have been giving him a problem, so every once in a while Johnny Oates will give him some time off.
Well, they said for years the Rangers could not win because of the toll that the heat took on them over the course of the year. They just proved that a couple of years ago by getting in postseason play. But boy, they have really gone through some heat down there this summer. As McLemore rung up by Martinez. Pedro has strikeout number 3.
Well, both pitches in this game very sharp with their control. Pedro to the inside corner with the fastball to pick up the strikeout. Both guys doing a good job working the corners, mixing their pitches up. As a result, only 1 hit in the game, but of course that was the home run by Gonzalez.
1 out. Here's Rusty Greer. I know it's not artificial turf, but I'd imagine with all that heat down there, lack of rain, that Texas infield is pretty hard. Not as tough on the knees as artificial turf would be, but
Tell you, we were lucky. The first couple of days down in Texas was actually only in the 80s, so the cloud cover and very comfortable. It did heat up the last 2 games, but you can tell that whole area very dry. They have not had a lot of rain.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Rusty Greer.
And this month, the month of August, supposed to be the hottest month of the year in Texas.
Greer fouls it back. I guess we're supposed to get some hot weather, not as hot as Texas, but 90s plus in Kansas City the next couple of days. Sox will be playing the Royals tomorrow night and then again on Thursday afternoon. Here's the 2-2 from Pedro. Chopped up the middle, played here by Benjamin at second. Benjamin DeVaughn in time to get Rusty Greer 2 outs. Have a difference in this ball game. Home run by Juan Gonzalez leading off the 2nd inning. There has been only 1 hit so far. in the first 3+ innings here, and this was it. Gonzalez against Martinez, leading off the second, hit high and deep and off the camera position in center field. 34th home run of the year for Gonzalez, a 1-0 Ranger lead. And it's still 1-0 Texas. Gonzalez bats here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Breaking ball down and away.
Red Sox threw a lot of curveballs to Gonzalez in that series down in Arlington and had pretty good success.
Another one from Pedro. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Only time they would throw a fastball would actually be to waste it.
One and 2.
Fastball that time. Little cut fastball from Martinez. Watch a little tail on this right at the end.
Got a piece of that one and fouled it back. Another breaking ball from Pedro. 1 run, 1 hit for Texas. And a 1-0 lead for the Rangers over the Red Sox and Pedro Martinez. Rick Helling matched up against Brett Saberhagen in our nightcap at 6 o'clock tonight. 1-2 pitch and fouled back again. Rangers lead the season series with the Sox. They have won 5 of the 9 games so far, winning 4 of 6 at Arlington. The Red Sox have won 2 of the 3 here at Fenway Park. Strike 3 call. Got the inside corner. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Pedro Martinez. Put up those Ks. 3.5 complete here at Fenway. Red Sox trail the Rangers 1-0.
Flying to Baltimore for business? If these 17 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, maybe this will. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hi, it's Paul Revere. The British are coming.
For reliable nationwide coverage, get Cellular One.
Hi, it's Paul. The British are coming.
We've led the way in wireless phone service from the start. But just think if we'd gotten it to you sooner.
Hi, it's John Adams. I'm not here, so please leave a message.
John, it's Paul. Pick up, it's important.
When you ship with Priority Mail, it's a great way to save money. But what about other parts of the world? There's Global Priority Mail. And here's the best part. Give us a few days more, and you can save up to 70% over FedEx or UPS. So, what's your global priority? Try Global Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Back here at Fenway Park, pretty good ball game. A 1-0 lead for the Texas Rangers. We check our game summary now before the Sox bat here in the home half of the 4th. The difference of the game again, that solo home run by Juan Gonzalez back in the 2nd. Pedro Martinez with 4 strikeouts so far. John Burkett has struck out 3.
Curveball stayed inside. You see Hatteberg setting up away, but it's going to be inside and picks up the inside corner. Gonzalez couldn't believe it. But Tim Cheetah says, yes, it was. It was a good pitch, Juan.
Juan said, yes, sir, Mr. Cheetah. And on we go to the bottom of the 4th. Top of the order for the Red Sox. Burkett so far has faced the minimum 9 hitters through the first 3. Second trip through the order. Darren Lewis takes a called strike. More hits for Lewis this year than any other since back in '93 when he won a Gold Glove with the San Francisco Giants. Fouled off of Rodriguez behind the plate. 2 strikes.
Well, Rodriguez so far today got knocked down by Martinez and now gets the helmet knocked off by Darren Lewis.
Bud starting his American League high 104th game of the year behind the plate. The rigors of catching all the heat down in Texas over the summer, and Rodriguez just rolls on and on as it's fouled back by Lewis. Still 2 strikes. Johnny Bench with 10 Gold Gloves. Bob Boone with 7, but Rodriguez may pass them both before he's done. Fudge is still only 26 years old. Burkett deals 1-2. And Lewis down on strikes. Burkett gets his 4th strikeout of the night.
Well, he's matching Pedro right now, strikeout for strikeout. Turnover fastball down and in, and again Darren Lewis unable to hold up the swing. A lot of Red Sox hitters trying to check their swing against Burkett, not being successful at it, and that's how he's picking up a lot of strikeouts.
1 out here in the Red Sox 4th. John Valentin bats.
Strikeout high for Burkett on the season is 7. He's done that twice this season.
Valentin to third. Zeal to Clark. 2 gone.
Well, we mentioned Burkett, control pitcher, does not walk many. And every batter until that last, he had the first pitch strike on him. So getting ahead of Red Sox hitters, expanding his strike zone, and the results so far have been very good for him.
Now he's off to one of his best starts of the year. Burkett's best start of the year, as he's facing a tough hitter for him here in Mo Vaughn, was on May the 10th at the ballpark in Arlington. He retired the first 20 Indians. He wound up winning the ball game 5-3 on a 4-hitter over Cleveland. And so far, the only Red Sox to reach against him was Garciaparra's leadoff walk in the 2nd, and then Nomar was eventually erased in an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. Here's the 1-0 to Mo. Fouled by the Red Sox dugout, a ball and a strike. Sugar Lake, Texas, home for John Burkett. That's a strike, says Tim Cheetah. Burkett's big year was with the San Francisco Giants. He was a 22-game winner in 19. Lewis. 1-2 pitch, ball and rifles it foul just past the tarp down the first base line.
Bob, I think that Devon Rodriguez thinks that Wendell Kim is giving away location to their hitters, because after that pitch prior to this one, he stared down at Kim for a long time, and then in that last pitch he set up outside and then moved back inside. So maybe Rodriguez feels like one of the coaches may be giving away the location where he sets up.
Hasn't helped the hitters so far this afternoon against Burkett. Strike 3 called. Vaughn had to wait for the call there from Tim Cheetah. Burkett has 5 strikeouts and a 1-0 lead after 4.
It's back, and this time there's something new. Now there's a wind tunnel that's self-propelled. New self-propelled wind tunnels.
Hello.
Todd Wallace, please.
This is Todd.
Bill, it's Citizens Bank. It's about your home equity loan.
Oh. I just applied. Is everything okay?
Well, you didn't get the amount you asked for.
I knew it.
No, you were approved for $15,000 more.
Really?
Citizens Bank. Quick turnaround and the not-so-typical habit of trying to give you more than you asked for. Citizens Bank.
Fortune 500 companies know that when it comes to renting a car, National Car Rental gets you in your car and on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by New England Chrysler Plymouth. If you want to see what's new at your local dealer, we'll show you. By Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor. By the Discover card. It pays to discover, except in where you see the Nova sign. And by Cellular One, the wireless phone company. Back here at Fenway Park, a 1-0 lead for the Texas Rangers over the Red Sox. Texas coming to bat here, top of the 5th inning. Will Clark will lead off for the Rangers against Pedro Martinez. We had a chance to talk to Clark before the game about Pedro.
The big thing that makes him tough is, you know, he's got an excellent fastball in the mid-90s that he spots extremely well. And then he complements that with a changeup that moves a ton. So, you know, anytime you have two above-average pitches like that, you got to take one away from him and give him the other one. And, you know, even sometimes when you take that one away from him, he still has good enough stuff to get you out. So, you know, that's what makes him tough. He's a great competitor, and it shows by his record.
Clark first ball hitting ball and flags it down at first to Pedro covering. They got Clark.
Oh, what a terrific play by Mo Vaughn. Changeup by Martinez. The ball hit hard by Clark to Mo's right. He'll go into the dive and take the base hit away from the other first baseman in this ball game. Terrific play by Vaughn, and throws a strike to Martinez covering first base just in time to get the out.
One pitch, one out as Martinez gets Will Clark. Here is Pudge Rodriguez, who has cooled off a little bit here. Second half of the season, as have the Rangers after their hot start. There's the strike. What is Clark talking about, taking one pitch away from Martinez? How do you do that?
Well, in other words, just sit on one pitch. In other words, I'll just look for the fastball tonight. I'll give him the changeup. I'll give him the curveball. And when he throws me a fastball, though, I got to hit it.
Oh, is that the best approach?
Well, most guys look for the fastball, you know, but there are certain players that will guess. They will pick a pitch that they want to look for, whether it be not many guys look for a changeup or a split-fingered fastball, but they might look for a slider, might look for a curveball or the fastball. Most guys look for the fastball, try to adjust to the other pitches.
Tough at bat for Rodriguez, down on strikes. 5 strikeouts now for Pedro.
Breaking ball from Martinez.
Number 27.
Keeps it away from Rodriguez, and you never know what kind of effect a high inside fastball will have early in the game for a hitter for the rest of that ball game. That time he stayed away completely from Rodriguez and picked up the strikeout.
Todd Zeal bats. 11 in a row retired by Pedro Martinez. He's retired 14 of the 15 hitters he's faced. The only one to reach, touched them all. Juan Gonzalez back in the second inning. Two balls and a strike. Sox are behind in the ball game, but so far Martinez has been exactly what the Red Sox ordered. They needed innings and quality innings out of their starters. With the bullpen again used heavily here on really the whole homestand, but particularly over the weekend against the Twins. Popped up back behind the plate. That's out of play.
Pedro's got first pitch strike on 12 of the 16 batters he's faced in this game today. It'll make Joe Kerrigan happy, because Kerrigan sent a challenge out to his starting pitchers. Hey, we've got to start getting deeper in the ball game than what we've been doing.
Now, we mentioned the Sox starters over the weekend against the Twins in the 4 games, won a total of 18 in the 3rd innings. Martinez missed down and away on 3-2. First walk issued by Pedro. Zeal reaches with 2 outs here in the Texas 5th.
Pedro always seems more effective when he's pitching as quickly as he did today. You know, he's seen some games where he's taking more time, maybe not as confident in his stuff. When he gets the ball, gets back in that rubber and fires it, it seems like that's when he has his best games.
He's been in a groove against the Rangers here this afternoon. Here's Mike Sims. Had a nice August. 1 ball, no strikes on Sims. California native Sims lives in Arlington now. Been in Texas a while. Second year with the Rangers, was in Houston before that. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Vaughn holds with Zeal at first base. Zeal aboard with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down low, 3-2 now the count on Sims. That'll mean Zeal at first will be off with the pitch.
And that'll move Mo Vaughn about 3 or 4 steps just behind him at first base.
Zeal goes. The pitch strike. Trey called. A half a dozen strikeouts now for Pedro Martinez. They have played 4.5 here at Fenway. The Red Sox trail the Rangers 1-0. Back here at Fenway Park, a 1-0 lead for the Texas Rangers. Check the upcoming schedule for the Sox. You won't have to wait long for the next Red Sox action after this one. It's tonight, 6 o'clock. The makeup of the rainout last night, and then the Sox go to Kansas City. They've got games tomorrow night at 8 and Thursday afternoon at 2. All can be seen right here on NESN. A 1-0 Texas lead with Nomar Garcia-Parra leading off for the Red Sox. Here in the home half, the 5th. Roy O'Leary, Mike Stanley will follow against Texas right-hander John Burkett. Nomar chops it foul down the third base line. 1 strike. Nifty play down there.
Wow.
Souvenir.
Let me tell you something. Showed some quickness getting off that stool. I mean, he just zips right off that stool, gets in a good position. That's a nice play.
Great anticipation. Got a great break on the ball.
I don't think I've seen him before.
Pitch is wide.
He must only work splits.
He was down at Fort Myers taking ground balls.
He's on rehab. He's on rehab.
Breaking ball. Fooled Garcia-Parra. 1-2.
You watched the Patriots last night, Bob?
Bits. Watched the bit of it.
Yeah, scored some points. Handed it to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are what, 0-3?
0-3 in the preseason.
Good for them.
With a new coach. Did that one player from Mexico ever get in the game? Did you stay with it long enough to find out or not?
No, I slipped over. I wanted to watch the president at 10 o'clock, so I didn't see the whole game.
One ball, 2 strikes here on Nomar. That was a busy night on TV last night. Hot shot. On the third baseline, touched by a fan. They'll probably rule Garcia-Parra is entitled to second base. Well, it's a call they automatically make, and maybe he wouldn't have been on second base, Jerry.
That's exactly the point. I mean, that's one that you would think Johnny Oates would question, because we've seen it so many times in this park, especially as hit as hard as this, where it bounces out right back to the shortstop or left fielder, and the hitter ends up with a single. I mean, that's one you're probably not going to win the argument, but you should question in case it happens again in a game.
I don't think he would have wound up at second.
Not on that one, he would not have.
25, the left fielder, Troy O'Leary.
Well, it won't be 2 consecutive hitless games for Nomar. He was 0 for 3 on Sunday. Picks up the base hit here in his second at bat. As we mentioned, Bob, only once this season, back-to-back no-hit games for Garcia-Parra.
Troy O'Leary at the plate here. 1 ball to no strikes. Garcia-Parra at second with nobody out. It's 2-0. Double by Garcia-Parra here, leading off the 5th. The first hit for the Red Sox against Burkett this afternoon. And only their second base runner, Garcia-Parra, led off the second inning with a walk and was erased in a double play. So Burkett's been mowing him down, but the Red Sox have a chance here in the 5th inning. O'Leary pulls it on the right side of the infield. Clark underhands to Burkett, and Garcia-Parra makes his way to third.
Now that's a good out by Troy O'Leary. Right side, get to Nomar to third in this well-pitched game by both pitchers.
The designated hitter.
It's like a changeup maybe that's down, and that one big hop to Will Clark. He'll take the out at first, but Nomar does get the third, and now the Rangers will pull the infield in.
Mike Stanley in this situation, runners at third base and less than 2 outs, successful 38% of the time this year, 13 of 34. Grounds it, flagged down by Clayton, the shortstop, and guns it over to Clark at first base. So the infield in prevents a run. Nomar at third with now 2 outs. Stanley hit it hard, but right at Clayton at short.
And usually Mike will look for a pitch that he can lift in the air. This ball is down. That's a ground ball pitch, and he'll hit it to the shortstop Clayton for the second out. A little bit impatient that time for Mike Stanley. Generally, he'll try to get a pitch at least from the thigh higher and try to lift it in the air for the fly ball.
Sox here looking for the 2-out RBI from Darren Bragg. There goes the bat, and into the Red Sox dugout. Tom Gordon retrieves it.
Had a couple of those in this game. Von Rodriguez on strike 3, losing the bat. Bragg on strike 1, the changeup. Off-speed pitch fooling Darren, and that bat all the way to the Red Sox dugout.
Ever lose the microphone in an interview?
Sometimes I would think that people wish I had lost it.
One sails right in the Red Sox dugout. Nobody in danger. It fell short. 1 strike to Bragg, who went down swinging back in the 3rd inning. Burkett has 5 strikeouts this afternoon. 1 behind Pedro in the strikeout derby. Shoots the fastball wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. .73 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. .360 since we made the turn in Memorial Day. 1 and 2 now on Bragg. Speaking of double headers, which this one is, the first of 2 here today. The Mets are playing 1 today against Colorado. They got 2 more later this week against St. Louis. 3 double dips for the Mets in 4 days. Bragg got the arm over the plate, didn't move. Burkett is going to argue the point. The Red Sox will have runners at first and third. Bragg did not make much of an effort to get out of the way of that one.
And that's what Burkett is questioning Tim Cheater about, the fact that he did not move at all to get out of the way of this pitch.
Number 10, the catcher.
Inside, Bragg will just stand right off the tricep. That's why you do not only bicep exercises, Bob, you do those tricep exercises, get that full arm, and then when you get hit by a pitch there, it doesn't hurt as much.
Hit a bigger bruise. First and third now for the Sox with 2 outs. Scott Hatteberg at the plate. Ground ball foul past the Red Sox dugout. 1 strike on Hatteberg.
Good numbers for Hatteberg against Burkett.
Fastball away. 1-1 the count. Only one other game going on in the American League this afternoon. That will not start for a while. Toronto on the West Coast. Everything else will take place tonight, including the second half of this doubleheader. Here's the 1-1 to Hatteberg. Missed inside. 2-1. Burkett against Pedro here in game 1. Brett Saberhagen and Rick Helling, the matchup tonight in game 2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Plus, we have to mention this every time Rodriguez is catching, but as that runner to first base, as soon as that ball gets by the hitter, you've got to quickly get back, because he loves that pickoff attempt, and especially when a left-handed hitter is to play. Throw behind that lefty.
Garciaparra opened the inning for the Red Sox with a double. He's at third with 2 outs. Hatteberg fouls it back. Here's the 2-2 from Burkett, and that's strike 3. Hatteberg is rung up. 6 strikeouts for Burkett. So Burkett has 6 strikeouts. Martinez has 6 strikeouts. The home run by Gonzalez. The difference in the ball game, still a 1-0 Texas lead after 5.
Pedro Martinez. He's a Cy Young Award winner. He's the heart and heat of the Red Sox rotation. And he's clocked at over 90 miles per hour. Folks usually get a ticket for that. We suggest at least 2. Visiting friendly Fenway is faster and easier than ever this season. For tickets, call 617-267-1700. This time, we're letting you off with a warning.
My advice? Simple. Now's the time to buy.
Oh, how happy. Time to smile, because now is the time to save big at your New England Ford dealers' factory authorized clearance. Get less than 1% financing on Ford Taurus and $750 cash back. You heard right. That's less than 1% financing plus $750 cash back on Ford Taurus.
It's safe, it's powerful, and it's affordable.
That's low financing and big cash back on Ford Taurus. Only at your New England Ford dealers' factory authorized clearance.
When car batteries are put to the test, America's most trusted lives up to its name. Die Hard. She's gonna love her birthday.
5 complete from Fenway. It's a 1-0 Ranger lead. Tune in to NESN tonight at 10 p.m. for Fox Sports News. You get highlight scores and analysis of everything happening in sports today. That's Fox Sports News tonight at 10, live on NESN.
Pedro Martinez matched up here against John Burkett at Fenway this afternoon. A 1-0 lead for Texas. Pedro has given up just the 1 hit. That was the home run to Gonzalez in the 2nd inning.
Now batting for Texas, number 11, the shortstop, Royce Clayton.
Royce Clayton leads off for Texas here in the 6th. Martinez has faced just 2 over the minimum. Only Rangers to reach the home run by Gonzalez and a 2-out walk last inning to Todd Zeal. Royce Clayton picked up in that trade with St. Louis. Fouled back. Rangers rebuilding the left side of their infield. That's the only other game this afternoon. Toronto going at Oakland. Everything else coming your way tonight. Clayton quickly down 2 strikes. Clayton, of course, saw a lot of Pedro, and they were both in the National League.
One thing about Clayton and the few games that we've had a chance to watch him play, very good defensively at shortstop, excellent shortstop, and pretty much a free swinger. He doesn't walk very much, doesn't hang around, likes to swing the bat, and hits a lot of balls to the opposite field.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That's just a hair outside. Kevin Elster being given his unconditional release after they acquired Clayton, and of course Tatis was traded, the third baseman. Pedro back with the strikeout. That's 7 on the afternoon.
Pedro's got a good curveball working for him today. There's been very few times in a game where the curveball has actually been his best pitch. Mostly it's fastball, then changeup. But today,
Tom Goodwin.
Top of the order here for the Texans. Here's Tom Goodwin, who has been 0 for 2 today. Goodwin has grounded out to Benjamin at second and to Vaughn at first. Loops this one to left. It falls safely in front of the on-charging Troy O'Leary for just the second Ranger hit. And gives them some speed at first base.
31 stolen bases on the season for Goodwin, but he's been caught 17 times. Plus, we just had another guy in here over the weekend, Otis Nixon, who also had 31 stolen base.
Nixon had a pretty good weekend against the Red Sox. This is the first time Goodwin has reached against the Sox and Martinez this afternoon. He's at first with 1 out. Mark McLemore at the plate. Pedro misses at the knees. McLemore has lined out to Benjamin, hit the ball hard back in the first inning, and then was called out on strikes in the 4th. Two balls, no strikes.
Something new for both pitchers today, working out of the set position. Not many guys on base in this ball game. Pedro will hold the ball a long time, trying to get that base runner, stop any movement that he might have towards second base, get him flat-footed. Good base stealers like to be moving a little bit.
That's a strike. So the action count now of 2-1. Vaughn holds with Goodwin at first. There's strike 2. And just back at first, Goodwin, who might have just been leaning a bit towards second base.
Very late reaction for Goodwin, getting back to first. Took him a long time to move back toward that bag. Tag on the shoulder, hand on the base. Maybe by holding the ball that long for Pedro, kind of lulls that base stealer to sleep.
Time call by plate umpire Tim Cheetah.
That's one way to stop it. If you're the guy at the plate, just call timeout, which they do quite often when Pedro's working out of the stretch.
Full count.
Didn't miss by very much. Looked like the changeup away. Just a little bit down and away. See if Goodwin goes now on the 3-2 count.
Goodwin's going. McLemore lifts it in the air, shallow left field. On comes O'Leary to make the catch. O'Leary has a shot at him at first base, but the ball hits Goodwin. He's back safely with 2 outs.
That's a good thing for Goodwin. That ball hit him in the back because O'Leary had time to double him off first base. He was just about standing at second when O'Leary made that catch. Turns around to go back, and in the slide, that ball will hit him right in the back. Takes a look, sees where the ball is, but then continues on. Didn't think O'Leary was going to catch up to it, and really has to scuffle to get back to first base.
So he's still at first with 2 outs now. Rusty Greer will be the Texas hitter. Greer has been up twice and grounded out twice to Mike Benjamin at second base. You heard Greer's name tossed about in that proposed trade to Texas and Toronto, where Texas was trying to pry Roger Clemens away from the Blue Jays at the trading deadline. One of the players the Jays supposedly asked for were Greer, and Texas said no way. They want to trade Greer and open up a hole in left field. But Greer still in Texas. Roger Clemens still in Toronto, although right now, by all reports, not that happy about it. Greer, little looper here to shallow left. Back is Nomar Garcia Parra short to make the catch, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit in the inning for the Rangers. Goodwin stranded at first base. We played 5.5 here at Fenway.
Home run. Well, Ken Griffey and the Mariners will be in town to take on the Red Sox for a 3-game series August 31st, September 1st, and 2nd. For tickets, call the ticket office at 617-267-1700.
Still a 1-0 ball game. Still a Texas Ranger lead. Mike Benjamin leads off against John Burkett here in the 6th inning. Ground ball foul over into the Texas dugout. 1 strike on Benjamin. You're mentioning that Seattle's coming to town. Seattle, of course, no longer has Randy Johnson. Johnson in the National League suffered his first National League defeat last night. Beaten by the Phillies in Philadelphia. Paul Bird threw a 4-hit complete game shutout in his Phillies debut to beat the big unit last night 4-0. Johnson's now 3-1 since moving over to Houston. Breaking ball. Benjamin taps it towards third. Barehanded by Zeal. He has no play. Even if he had handled it cleanly, I'm not sure whether or not he could have gotten Benjamin, but obviously once the ball dribbled away, no chance. Benjamin has a leadoff single.
Well, Todd Zeal robbed Benjamin of a hit last time up on a nice play at third base. This time Benjamin with almost like a bunt. The only play for Zeal to try to make the play barehanded, and that's very difficult. A lot of times it'll spin right out of the hand, and Benjamin with the hit. Now, Red Sox offense has been quiet on Sunday against the Minnesota Twins in Milton, and quiet here this afternoon. There's Benjamin hustling all the way down the line. Very good speed. Red Sox have some speed at second base, certainly in Sadler and in Mike Benjamin.
Lewis squares to bunt. Ball bounces away from Rodriguez and his powerful throwing arm, but staying at first base is Benjamin. Sox did not get their first hit off Milton on Sunday until Baratek singled in the 6th inning. And they get the double here from Nomar last inning. Could not advance him. Now get a leadoff single from Benjamin here in the 6th. So Jerry mentioned the offense has been quiet for Jimmy Williams. This club trailing the Rangers 1-0. Lewis with the bunt attempt gets it back to Burkett. Burkett will go to first base and get Lewis. Sacrifice is successful, advancing Benjamin down to second base.
For a second, I thought Burkett may spin around and try to get that lead runner at second base, but didn't pay much attention at all to Benjamin. Figured he had to go to first base to get the sure out. Little peek at Benjamin, had no chance, and retires Lewis. So Lewis gets the job done with the sacrifice.
Sacrifice 1-4 if you're scoring along at home. Second baseman McLemore covering on the play. The Sox have Benjamin in scoring position at second. 1 out. John Valentin at the dish, and Valentin takes a called strike. Valentin is flied to center and grounded out to Zeal at third base. One run, 2 hits for the Rangers. No runs, 2 hits for the Red Sox. Benjamin singled to open the inning, sacrificed into scoring position by Lewis. Valentin awaiting the 1-2 here from John Burkett, and laces it on a line to right field. One hop off the warning track, chased down in right by Sims. Benjamin scores a double for John Valentin, his specialty, only this time he went the opposite way, and the Red Sox have tied it up 1-1.
That's a nice piece of hitting by Valentin. Burkett working that outside corner against John with the fastball, and instead of trying to pull the ball, he'll just take it right to right field and pick up the RBI double. Valentin now with 38 doubles, puts him 1 ahead of Carlos Delgado, 2 ahead of Ivan Rodriguez of the Rangers.
Valentin replaces Benjamin at second. It's a brand new ball game. Sox 1, Rangers 1. Here's Mo Vaughn. Vaughn fouls one back. 1 strike on Mo.
And a little infield single gets things started for the Red Sox by Benjamin. Good execution by Lewis, and Valentin with the double to tie this game up.
Vaughn down on strikes twice, swinging in the first, called in the 4th. Line drive, base hit, right field, charged by Sims. Stop sign thrown up by Wendell Kim. The ball goes awry. Chased down by Burkett, but no advancement by either Valentin at third base or Vaughn at first.
Very late sign put up by Wendell Kim. He was waving Valentin home, and then once Valentin got past third base, he'll put the brakes on him. This throw way off the mark by Sims, bounces away from the pitcher who was backing up the play, and of course that always makes things look a lot worse.
Number 5, the shortstop, Nomar Garcia.
Dick Bosman, the Rangers pitching coach, out for a word with Burkett, who was sailing along here until the 6th inning.
See, with nobody out in the inning, that's one way. If you hold the guy up, there's no problem. But with 1 out, that's a lot of times you'll take a bigger chance. And that time it made it look a lot worse when that throw got away from everybody in the infield. Wendell Kim right now really hoping Garcia Parra gets a base hit.
Bosman has had his say. Sox have Valentin at third, Vaughn at first. And Nomar Garcia-Parra at the plate. Burkett has sailed along, just 80 pitches on the pitch meter here into the 6th inning. Garcia-Parra rips it to third. Hits the ball about as hard as you can, but right at Zeal. And so Valentin's still at third now with 2 outs.
Can't do much about that. You hit it right on the button, but right at Todd Zeal at third base. Line shot, and good thing Valentin wasn't that far off the bag, or he'd have been doubled up.
Troy O'Leary.
First and third for the Sox, but now 2 outs. Troy O'Leary at the plate as Tim Cheetah, the plate umpire, calls time. O'Leary, line drive, base hit, right field. Sox will get the runner home. Valentin scores from third to take a 2-1 lead. Vaughn over to third base on the RBI single by Troy O'Leary. It's 2-1 Sox now over the Rangers.
Oh, big hit there by O'Leary. 2 outs in the inning. It looked like the Red Sox may strand Valentin at third. He got a high changeup from Burkett. High changeup away. Hooks the ball for the line drive base hit. One of the few bad pitches that Burkett has made in this game this afternoon. And O'Leary makes him pay for it.
Sox have 5 hits, 4 of them coming here in the 6th inning. First and third, 2 outs again for Boston. This time it's Mike Stanley at the plate. Breaking ball down and away from the Red Sox designated hitter. We'll work Stanley away again with the breaking ball. This one gets the outside corner, 1-1.
Left and right-handed action in the bullpen. It looks like Gunderson and Crabtree loosening up for the Rangers.
Burkett falls behind Stanley now, 2-1. Base runners for the Red Sox. That's Troy O'Leary at first base. Mo Vaughn is over third. Here's the 2-1 from Burkett, and Stanley, was he hit by that pitch? He was, and that'll load the bases. One got away from Burkett, and the bases are loaded now for the Red Sox.
Well, if you're going to get hit, always good to get hit with a changeup. And that brings Johnny Oates out. He's going to make a change.
But Burkett was just sailing along. 5 innings, had given up just a double to Garcia-Parra. Did not give up the first hit of the ball game until the 5th inning. And a leadoff single, infield swinging bunt single by Mike Benjamin. Sacrifice by Lewis. RBI double by Valentin. Single by Vaughn. The line drive by Garcia-Parra. Then the base hit by O'Leary. And the hit batter of Stanley. And that will be all for Burkett. He'll leave behind in the ball game now, 2-1. We'll take a break. Back with more baseball from Fenway right after this.
Stopping? I will. Oh! Yes!
When I came to Fenway, I knew I had to put up some pretty good numbers. When you're coming to Fenway, you only need one. 617-482-4SOX.
Bringing your family to friendly Fenway is quicker and easier than ever with our new 24-hour touch-tone ticketing. 617-482-4SOX.
You want to get to Fenway, you got to put up the numbers.
Boston Red Sox baseball. What a game.
Well, back at Fenway, the Red Sox have taken the 2-1 lead with a couple here in the 6th inning. Be in the front row tonight for an up-close look at Pawtucket Red Sox manager Ken Maka and the job he's done getting players ready for the major leagues. And Krista Mastriani heads home to Weston, Massachusetts for a very unique athletic competition. So tune in tonight to Front Row right here on NESN. I believe that comes on at 5 o'clock. Yeah, it does. Right there, 5 o'clock.
And between games of our doubleheader here this afternoon. Yeah, first pitching change of the twin bill. The left-hander, the former Red Sox, Eric Gunderson, now on to pitch for the Texas Rangers.
54th appearance for Gunderson on the season, a record of 0-1. He's been very busy against the Red Sox. This will be the 6th game that he's worked in against Boston. He's worked a total of 5 innings, allowing 12 hits and 8 earned runs. He had one real bad inning in that series down at Texas.
And that was on the Sunday finale. Worked an inning in 2/3, gave up 7 runs, 6 hits. Sox saw him 3 times in the 4 games in their visit to Arlington. Burkett gone 5 2/3 innings. Gives up 2 runs, 5 hits, struck out 6, walked 1, leaves the bases loaded for Gunderson. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter for the Red Sox, Damon Buford, on to pinch hit for Darren Bragg. Donnie Oates brings in the left-hander. Jimmy Williams goes to the right-handed hitting Buford to pinch hit for Bragg. Damon Buford, who was with the Texas Rangers a year ago. Pinch hitting here against his former team in the 6th. 282 for Buford, 8 homers, 32 runs batted in. Sox have a 1-run lead, but they have the bases loaded here. A chance to put some distance between themselves and the Rangers with Pedro Martinez on the mound. Gunderson misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Gunderson comes back with a fastball. That missed, 2-0. All kinds of problems on the bases for the Rangers. That's Mike Stanley at first base. Troy O'Leary's at second. And Mo Vaughn's at third. Buford to right center field. After it is good one. He won't get it. Chases it down on the warning track. Vaughn has scored. O'Leary has scored. Stopping at third base is Stanley. It's a pinch hit double for Buford. He comes through big time. It's 4-1.
Yeah, that's why you see the switch to the pinch hitter at this stage of the ball game. A chance to break the game open, especially when you have your ace on the mound in Martinez. Buford ran that count to 2-0. And you could tell when it left the bat that even with Goodwin's speed, he was not going to be able to catch up to this one. Big base hit for Buford to drive in a couple of runs. Just as we talk about the offense struggling, they come alive here in the 6th inning.
4 big runs to take a 4-1 lead over Texas. Still have runners at second and third, and Scott Hatteberg, the 9th Red Sox to bat here in the 6th inning, takes ball 1. Sox continue their success against Eric Gunderson. Jim Rice's hitters have tacked up a 4 spot. Swing and a miss by Hatteberg, a ball and a strike. Hatteberg fouls it back. It's 1-2. Scott has been up twice, has struck out twice, swinging in the 3rd, called in the 5th. And some decent numbers against Gunderson, including 1 for the distance. That was Sunday. I should say a week ago Sunday. Blocked there by Hatteberg. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bud Rodriguez making this last play to keep that runner at third base.
Swing and a miss. Hatteberg down on strikes, and that'll retire the side. And the Sox get 4 runs in the inning on 5 hits. They strand a pair. They've got a 4-1 lead now for Pedro Martinez as the game moves to the late innings.
handle any guy in here.
Oh, here we go!
Hey. Isn't it fun, though? It sure is fun.
Patriots! Ah, Patriots!
Fox Sports has a long tradition of innovation. You can see that same spirit in every Fox Sports News show.
End up in that hot zone, because our goal isn't to give you just a score, a highlight, or a stat.
It's about trying something new, something different.
It's to take you closer to the story than ever before.
Let me ask you about that third down call.
Got those with something low in the wind?
At least that's the plan.
Nesson's Sports Desk keeps up with all that's new in New England sports. Join host Bob Rogers every 15 minutes weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m. for all the late scores and highlights. Jamie Parker gets you caught up weekends from 6 to noon every 30 minutes. Get all the sports news on your schedule. Nesson's Sports Desk.
Well, back here at Fenway, where the Red Sox now have a 4-1 lead as we move to the top of the 7th inning. Don't forget this, the first of 2, the second ball game coming your way, 6 o'clock tonight. Sox and Rangers will do it again. Rick Helling matched up with Brett Saberhagen. We'll have it for you tonight right here on Nesson starting at 6 o'clock. Changes for the Red Sox, as you might have expected. Damon Buford moves into center field. Aaron Lewis will shift over, take Darren Bragg's place in right. 7 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez, who so far has limited the Texans to just 2 hits, Texas, including the home run by Gonzalez back 19, in the second inning.
The designated hitter, Juan Gonzalez.
It will be Gonzalez to lead off. 3 pretty good hitters coming up for the Texans here in the 7th. Gonzalez, Clark, and Rodriguez. Rangers, of course, a ferocious offensive club. They have scored 10 or more runs 17 different times this year. The last of which was Saturday in New York when they thumped the Yankees 16-5. The only game they were able to win in that 4-game visit to the Bronx. Pedro Martinez here trying to protect a 3-run Red Sox advantage. Fastball runs in on Gonzalez, a ball and a strike.
Look at that pop in the mid of Scott Hatteberg on that fastball. That 91 miles an hour, but with some movement on it. Back in on the hands of Gonzalez.
And that pop on Hatteberg's glove exploding around Fenway Park. Here's some appreciative awes from the crowd. Here's the 1-1 from Pedro. Swing and miss. Strike 2.
That fastball a bit harder by Martinez. This one 94 miles an hour. Back-to-back fastballs. That's probably the first time Gonzalez has seen that from a Red Sox pitcher this season.
Goes breaking ball, but missed. Hatteberg rifled the ball down to the third baseman Valentin. They make the appeal. Matt Hickok said he didn't go, but it looked like it was a called strike.
I mean, I can't believe that wasn't called a strike. Looked like a perfect pitch by Martinez on the outside corner. Gonzalez looked like he did have control of the head of the bat, but the ball called outside by Cheetah. Hatteberg was so sure he was throwing the ball around the infield.
This one is popped in the air. So Gonzalez will not strike out, but he will instead fly out to the second baseman Benjamin. 1 out. In any event, they get Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, of course, has that home run today, but the Red Sox have kept him to about a 200 batting average on the season.
Number 22, the first baseman, Will.
There's a guy who's always given the Red Sox problems since coming over to the American League. Will Clark. Clark is 0 for 2 in this one. Clark has always hit well against the Sox, particularly here at Fenway, as he takes a called strike. He has a .458 career average here at Fenway Park. Had a .414 career average against the Sox beginning play today. .414, the highest average that Clark has against any opponent. Neutralized so far by Pedro Martinez here this afternoon. Little pop-up chased by Benjamin going out in right field, and Benjamin will make the catch. Benjamin from his second base position had to go a long way for that one. Two away.
Ball left the bat. It looked like it was one that Lewis was going to have to make a play on, but it's going to be Benjamin. Showing some range on the pop-up, and he's been busy at second base in this game.
Rodriguez.
Two outs in the Texas seventh. Here's Pudge Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 2, as the Rangers had a lot of offers against Pedro so far. Good breaking ball, 1-1.
This might be the most curveballs we've seen from Martinez in quite some time. Very effective pitch for him here this afternoon. There's another one.
1-2.
Staying away from Rodriguez ever since that high inside fastball.
Up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. .95 pitches so far for Pedro Martinez, with 2 outs here in the 7th. 2-2 to Rodriguez is down and away. It's a full count. Tapped out in front of the plate. Tough play for Hatteberg. Hatteberg has to hurry. Throws it away. Might have deflected off the first base umpire, Ed Hickok. But Rodriguez will reach with 2 outs. That'll be scored a base hit.
A strange spin on this baseball as it headed out toward first base. It looked like Martinez was going to make the play. Then it's Hatteberg who decides to make it. Throw off the glove of Vaughn. And Ivan Rodriguez picks up the hit. A lot of spin on that baseball. I think Hatteberg was afraid he was going to hit Rodriguez in the back. And trying to compensate from that was too wide at first base.
So Rodriguez aboard. Todd Zeile at the plate, and Zeile takes a breaking ball from Pedro for a called strike. Zeile began his big league career as a catcher in the Cardinals organization before shifting to third base. Wicked pitch for Martinez. It's 0-2.
Zeile having a disagreement with Tim Cheater on those first 2 pitches. Just a difference of opinion.
This one pop foul. Bull Vaughn is over for a look. Standing right in front of Bob Tomaselli in our first base camera, but that's back beyond the camera, beyond the dugout, and a couple of rows back.
Hollywood Bob Tomaselli. There he is, deep in that ditch at first base.
He has a rival now at the ballpark when he arrives.
It's unbelievable. He has people. He has people with him.
Like an entourage coming down the right field line as he makes his way to that first base camera.
Makes his entrance about 20 minutes prior to game time. Big round of applause down that first base line as he comes down to his camera position.
Here's Zeile fouling off another.
Ever since he's been on ESPN a couple of springs ago, he's had people.
Swing and a miss. Martinez wins the battle. Got him with a breaking strikeouts for Pedro. He paused for the 7th inning stretch here at Fenway. Sox lead the Rangers 4-1.
Fox Sports has a long tradition of innovation. You can see that same spirit in every Fox Sports News show.
End up in that hot zone because our goal isn't to give you just a score, a highlight, or a stat.
It's about trying something new, something different.
It's to take you closer to the story than ever before.
Let me ask you about that third down call.
Got those we set them low and away.
At least that's the plan.
How many tires does it take to celebrate this man's 100th anniversary? Find out at Sears' Best of Michelin sale. Whatever you drive, get great prices on the Michelin tire that's right for you at Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
What's new? The new Chrysler Concorde, ranked best premium midsize car in initial quality by J.D. Power & Associates. At Chrysler and Plymouth, we'll show you what's new.
It's a homestand for the Sox next week on Nesson. The Sox host the A's for 3 on the 25th, 26th, and 27th at 7 p.m.
2 outs as Darren Bragg skies one to center, pretty deep. Edmonds is back, looking up, it's gone! A home run for Darren Bragg.
The Angels come to town on the 29th, and it's a twilight start at 5 o'clock. Wrap up August with Nesson, your ticket to Red Sox baseball.
Seventh inning stretch at Fenway. The Red Sox have the 4-1 lead. Well, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays make their final appearance at Fenway September 21st and 22nd. The Sox are looking to secure a postseason play. So come on out and cheer for the home team. The tickets 24 hours a day. Call 617-462-4SOX.
A Nesson flag, a Nomar flag, and a Red Sox 4-1 lead here. And standing for the 7th inning stretch of the day portion of our day-night doubleheader. We're going to get our 3rd Texas pitcher of the afternoon before the Sox come up here in the 7th. Tim Crabtree takes over on the mound for Johnny Oates' crew.
48th appearance of the season for Crabtree, a record of 4-0, 4.03 ERA. Crabtree's last appearance coming against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, a 3rd of an inning, that a couple of days ago on the 16th. This will be Crabtree's 4th appearance against the Red Sox this season. Worked a total of 4 innings, allowing 3 hits against Boston. Bob, you looking for somebody to take the crowd?
No, I'm just checking out the crowd here at Fenway.
I've had these binoculars out all day. Do you have some tickets here
I had
today?
some tickets. Want to make sure the people had made it, but I think they may be back underneath.
Oh, if they didn't make it or they didn't get, they'll let you know. You'll get a phone call.
Red Sox, number 28, the second baseman.
Picked a good ball game to come to.
Benjamin.
Pedro Martinez with the 8 strikeouts. Red Sox have the 4-1 lead. Mike Benjamin, who's played a key role in this one for the Red Sox, will lead it off. It was Benjamin's little roller down the 3rd baseline last inning that got the Red Sox started. First of 5 hits. Sox scored 4 last inning against the Rangers to knock out the starter John Burkett. And they've got a 4-1 lead here in the home half, the 7th. Rolled to short. Clayton with the long throw. Clark with the stretch, and 1 out. Clayton, of course, the guy who took over at shortstop in St. Louis, and Ozzie Smith went into retirement.
Clayton really kind of had to stay back a bit on this soft ground ball. Sounded like a broken bat ground ball from Benjamin. And he'll just plant, give the over-the-top throw, and get Benjamin at first base by a step. Clayton looks to be very quick in that shortstop position. Quick for a step.
And that's the position, as you know, Jerry, the Rangers have struggled to find someone to fill. Elster had the big year a couple of years ago, but then they couldn't afford to re-sign him. He went to Pittsburgh, eventually made his way back, but didn't have the same success and was released this year. Benji Gill, they waited for a long time for him to develop and never did up to Texas's expectations. Foul back by Darren Lewis. while back. We're just conversing with the truck and Paul Carroll, trying to think of a real big shortstop Texas has had for any great length of time. I mean, they've had some good third basemen, Bell and Toby Hara. Hara, I think, started at short.
Yeah, he played some shortstop for him.
Texas had Bert Campaneris, but that was at the end of his career. I can't recall a real bona fide major league shortstop that Texas had that they had for a number of years. As Lewis here goes to right field, Sims with a long run. That's a fair ball. That's a fair ball, says Ed Hickok, and it will be a two-base hit for Darren Lewis.
Four doubles now for the Red Sox in this game this afternoon. Lewis right down that right field line, just barely in fair territory. It's amazing it wasn't interfered with by a fan or bounced up in the stands. It hits the chalk, actually, that wooden foul line that's down the line, and then skipped away from Sims.
So Lewis in second with his 20th two-bagger of the year. John Valentin at the plate. Valentin had a big RBI double last inning. That chased Mike Benjamin home with the Red Sox first run, tied the game 1-1, and then Valentin scored the go-ahead run, coming in on Troy O'Leary's big hit. Valentin sends this one out to left field. Greer is back on the warning track and will make the catch. Valentin trying to get one up against the wall out there in left center, comes up just a bit short, and there are 2 outs here in the Red Sox 7th.
Tough to golf a ball that far, a baseball anyway. You see that low pitch, that uppercut swing by Valentin, trying to golf the ball on the wall here at Fenway. Just falls short at the warning track. Now, if that ball's up about 3 or 4 inches, that's going to be off the wall.
Lewis in second, 2 outs, and here's Mo. Vaughn has had some big games against the Texas Rangers this year. Had a 2-homer game in the 4-game series finale down in Arlington on August the 9th. That was Vaughn's 4th 2-homer game of this year. He said he went. So that'll be a strike on Vaughn.
I was wondering what the crowd was booing about. I didn't even think he took a swing at it, but they did ask for help. And the third base umpire said that Vaughn did swing. Very close.
Wilding Colbreth ruling that Vaughn, the head of the bat, crossed the plate. Head of the bat crossed the plate that time. 0-2. Four runs, 7 hits for the Red Sox. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rangers. This brief 2-game visit by Texas compressed into 1 day with the rain out last night. That one skips up and Rodriguez smothers it behind the plate. A ball and 2 strikes.
Part of the game that's improved for Rodriguez over the years. Blocking pitches. That time actually catches the ball. He's always had the great throwing arm right from day one. But has improved in other aspects of the game, calling a game, making those type of plays.
Crabtree deals 1-2 to Vaughn. Fastball was up high. Baltimore continues to play great baseball. The Orioles back at home tonight. They will host the Minnesota Twins. Orioles won last night 3-2 behind Scott Erickson to keep the pressure on the Red Sox. That one will bounce away from Rodriguez. Going to third is Lewis. Rodriguez recovers with a big throw, but Lewis already at the third base bag. Going to be a wild pitch. Charge to Crabtree.
Just far enough away from Rodriguez. That time couldn't catch it. Deflected off the glove, then off his hand. And a split second it took him to pick the baseball up. It's the difference at third base. Always better at third than at second base, especially here at Fenway. No guarantee you're going to score on a base hit to left field. And of course could score now on either a pass ball or wild pitch.
Crabtree's 3-2 pitch here to Mo Vaughn. Vaughn in the air to left field. Rusty Greer will come in and handle it, make the catch for the final out of the inning. Lewis stranded at third. We head to the 8th inning in this one. Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox with a 4-1 advantage over the Texas Rangers.
Oh, how happy you have made me. Your New England Ford dealers are making people happy one great deal at a time during factory authorized clearance.
This is the best price I've ever seen on an Explorer.
That's a $299 a month lease on the Ford Explorer Sport 4x4 with air, automatic transmission, CD stereo, and more.
Hey, Explorer is the best thing out there.
Oh, how happy you have made me. Only $299 a month on Ford Explorer Sport during your New England Ford dealers factory authorized clearance.
This is Caesar.
Julius, the Senate wants you killed. Look out for Brutus.
For the latest in digital technology, get Cellular One. We've led the way in wireless phone service from the start. But just think if we'd gotten it to you sooner.
Extra, extra, close call for Caesar.
4-1 Red Sox lead through 7. This copyrighted program is brought to you under pay cable TV rights granted by the Boston Red Sox. Solely for entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the accounts and description of this game without the written consent of the New England Sports Network and the Boston Red Sox is prohibited.
7 strong innings from Pedro Martinez. 8 strikeouts and a 4-1 Boston lead. Mike Sims to lead it off here for the Texans in the 8th. Breaking ball for a called strike. Sims is 0 for 2 today. He's grounded to short and been called out on strikes. Since Martinez has only given up the 3 hits, there are 6 offers through the Texas lineup. So far, Martinez has been exactly what Dr. Kerrigan ordered for the Red Sox bullpen today. He has given them 7 innings. Into the 8th here as he misses down and away, wasting the 0-2 pitch to Sims.
When did Kerrigan become a doctor?
I don't know.
And the off day yesterday during the rainout?
The professor of pitching.
Oh.
He issued the challenge to his starters, and Pedro has stepped up with now his 9th strikeout.
Well, it's always
for the 2nd time.
It's always nice to offer a challenge when you have Martinez working the next game. It's a pretty good chance you're going to be okay with that one. Again, the curveball for Martinez. He's got a lot of punch outs right at the bottom of that batting order. 2 for Sims, 2 for Clayton. It's like the best time to have a team meeting is when you have your race going.
Only problem is when it doesn't work. Then you're back to square one. Martinez trying for his 2nd win against the Rangers this year. He lost 4-3 his last outing on August the 7th, but won 2-1 here at Fenway back in May.
Pedro still throwing 92, 93, 94 here in the 8th inning on a very warm, humid day at Fenway.
Clayton makes contact out to right center field. Back goes Lewis. Lewis makes the catch. Makes the catch, but hurt himself up against that bullpen wall. Terrific catch by Lewis, who went right back and used every inch of real estate, but is limping a bit as Jim Rowe and Jimmy Williams come hustling out. Big round of applause for Darren Lewis, who has played so well for the Red Sox all summer long.
It's like he banged his elbow, too, against that wall, making that terrific catch. Unsung hero for the Red Sox, no question about that this season. Couldn't afford to lose him for any period of time. This ball just kept drifting back toward the bullpen. It looked like it was going to be a long fly ball, but not this deep. Carries right back against that bullpen wall, and that's where he whacks his elbow, making that catch.
See him feeling for the wall, and there is the wall.
Well, that Red Sox outfield defense has been terrific all season. Bragg, Lewis, Buford, O'Leary in left. They've made some spectacular catches, plus the routine plays.
Tom Goodwin.
Well, Lewis that time going back right to the wall, taking a home run away from Royce Clayton. You're right. I thought that was not left the bat. It was hit, you know.
Yeah.
All right, but it wasn't going to go that far.
Hit well in the opposite field. No question about that, but I didn't think it was going to carry that far.
Top of the order for the Texas lineup. Here's Tom Goodwin. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 complete games for Pedro Martinez this year. 9 strikeouts for Pedro here against Texas this afternoon. Goodwin to Vaughn at first. That was on the line. Vaughn made the play. Steps on the bag just in case. But it was a line drive out. 3 up and 3 down go the Rangers. We played 7.5 in our day portion of the day-night doubleheader. Sox lead the Rangers 4-1.
Front Row, New England's own sports magazine show, featuring New England's own Tom Caron, a Maine native and hockey maniac. Kristen Mastriani, a product of Western Massachusetts and Boston College. Debbie Robleski from New Hampshire and ESPN. And Tom Larson, a 30-year New England broadcast veteran. When it comes to sports, we've got New England covered. Nothing gets you closer than the Front Row, every night on NESN.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Nobody does it like you.
To deep clean your carpet and upholstery, you can get a Hoover Steam Vac Ultra and pay once. Or pay these guys
Nobody
every time.
does it like you.
Back here at Fenway Park, Red Sox have the lead 4-1 as they bat in the home half of the 8th inning. Time to check our game summary. Pedro Martinez has been spectacular. 9 strikeouts today, 31 total now in 3 games against Texas this year. Buford, big pinch hit, 2-run double. John Valentin had an RBI double. Roy O'Leary had a big base hit to right field to break the 1-1 tie, and right now it's a 4-1 lead for Martinez and the Red Sox as Aaron Lewis getting some ice on that elbow in the Red Sox dugout between innings. Ice it down. Brian Rose to the right of him.
Now batting for the Red Sox.
Omar Garcia-Parra leads off for Boston here in the 8th inning. It'll be Garcia-Parra, O'Leary, and Stanley. Omar walked in the 2nd inning, doubled to left in the 5th, and then lined out hard to Zeal at 3rd base in the 6th inning. Fouled away after today and the conclusion of the 2nd ball game tonight. The Red Sox will not see the Rangers again until perhaps the postseason. Texas well could be an opening foe for the Red Sox if both the Sox and Rangers get that far. Fouled away. There's a few other clubs that may have something to say about that. Sox beginning to be pushed from the rear a bit by Baltimore, now 6.5 back. And of course Texas also involved in a Western Division title chase with the Anaheim Angels. Angels will get Jack McDowell back tomorrow. He's just finishing up serving a suspension. He just got back from the disabled list, and when he got back from that, he had a 4-game suspension to serve. for his part in that brawl with Kansas City back in May. Angels are home tonight against the White Sox, and Chuck Finley will pitch for Anaheim in that West Coast matchup with the Big Herd and company tonight. Garcia Parr in the air to center field, right at Goodwin. So again, Nomar hits the ball hard. This time it's at Goodwin. Last at bat, he ripped a line drive to Zeal at third.
Yeah, 1 for 3 this afternoon. The double, then 2 hard line drive outs. 1 to Zeal at third base, and this one to Goodwin in center field.
The left fielder, Troy O'Leary.
You mentioned Finley pitching tonight, Bob. He started today tied with Pedro with a 2.91 ERA. The best in the American League. Clemens third, 3.05, and Cologne fourth, 3.07. You know whose ERA has really dropped? David Cone. Cone now sixth in the league, 3.37. He had a high ERA, even though he had a lot of wins. They were getting a lot of runs for him, but that has really dropped.
And Cone beat Kansas City last night 7-1, won his 18th game of the year. Yankees wound up. They started a road trip in Kansas City last night, but they wound up their homestand. What, 10-1? Only game they lost was to Texas on Saturday. They're 48-9 at the stadium this year. Sox will catch up to New York again in September. Yankees with a 3-game visit here to Fenway, the 7th through the 9th. Then the Sox will visit the Apple for a couple of games, the 14th and 15th. Sox right now have a 4-1 lead over the Texas Rangers. O'Leary batting with the bases empty and 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
Crabtree with the hardest fastball so far in this game, 95 miles an hour, 96.
Here's the 3-2 to Troy O'Leary, and O'Leary will go down on strikes. A lot of strikeouts today for both sides. We mentioned Martinez has 8. And that's what 9 for Martinez and 8 now for the Texas staff.
He's also done that fairly well against left-handed hitters, throwing that breaking ball down and in off the plate. Been a lot of check swings or attempted check swing strikeouts in this game this afternoon.
Texas in the 9th inning has McLemore, Greer, and Gonzalez due up against Pedro Martinez, who will try and post his 4th complete game of the year. Called strike here on Mike Stanley. One ball, 1 strike. Sox about hit the Rangers this afternoon 7-4. Lead on the scoreboard 4-1. The only home run. The blast by Juan Gonzalez back in the 2nd inning. Stanley with the ground ball to Zeal at third, off his chest and off his mouth, it looks like. Came up and hit him in the mouth, and Stanley reaches here with 2 outs in the 8th.
I think Zeal may need some medical attention after this. The ball bouncing up and hitting him, I think, first in the glove, then the mouth. Zeal had a great defensive series down in Arlington against the Red Sox. Right in the throat, it looked like, huh?
Yeah, and he gets an error on the play. All that and an E5. First error for either side.
Attention, please, for the Red Sox. Now running for Mike Stanley at first base, number 52, Donnie Sadler.
Donnie Sadler into the ball game as the pinch runner here for Stanley. Jimmy Williams going to his bench here in the 8th inning. Sadler with terrific speed at first base and 2 outs. See if the Sox can get home another run for Pedro Martinez to work with.
And see if Sadler steals second base and tries to do so early in the count.
Of course, you have the feared Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. He's gunned out better than 50% on the year. One strike on Buford.
Well, either Rodriguez lost that ball on the way to home plate, or there was so much movement on it that he didn't catch that square in his glove. It looked like bounced off the side of the glove.
Looked like he lost it, didn't it?
Sure did. Mentioned Rodriguez 53%, but the last 13 of 18 have been successful against him. Of course, we say him, but it's a combination of a lot of things. Certainly the help that he gets from the pitcher, the type of pitch that he gets to operate with.
He's about as good as you get back there. Buford swings and misses, and he's down now 2 strikes. John Burkett, Eric Gunderson, now Tim Crabtree for the Texas Rangers. Sox have Donnie Sadler at first base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers 1 came in the 2nd on the home run by Gonzalez. Sox got 4 runs on 5 hits in the 6th. RBI double by Valentin. A big 2-out single by Troy O'Leary to give him a 2-1 lead, and then Buford came in the ball game as a pinch hitter against Eric Gunderson with the bases loaded and delivered a big 2-out double. Sadler faked like he was going. Not going to matter, though, because Crabtree strikes out Buford to end the inning, and that will retire the side. We will go to the 9th. The Red Sox lead the Rangers 4-1.
Needs a little work. We've never really had that big of a house before. Bathtub. So there's gonna be a lot going on my Discover card. Fireplace. I love just the idea of surrounding myself with all my friends and family, and that people can just drop by. Pool table. Discover card cashback bonus award. It's like a gift that you can do whatever you want with, and not even feel guilty. Come find my house.
It pays to Discover. To apply, call 1-800-IT-PAYS-TO. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobile. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump. And like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobile, lets you take wing.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball has been brought to you in part By Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. By Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. By Mobile, introducing the fastest way to get gas, Mobile Speed Pass. It's free, and it's only at Mobile. By your New England Ford dealer. Stop by your New England Ford dealer for great savings on new Ford cars and trucks. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the three most important words are, hey, beer man. Fenway Park here in Boston, a 4-1 lead now for the Red Sox. Pedro Martinez continues on the mound. Martinez has 9 strikeouts. Pedro going for his 4th complete game of the year. Give the bullpen the afternoon off.
Now batting for Texas.
Mark McLemore, Rusty Greer, Juan Gonzalez due up for the Texans.
Mark McLemore.
Pretty impressive outing for Mr. Martinez as he goes for win number 16 on the season. Mark McLemore shoots one up the middle, base hit. McLemore got a pitch up in the strike zone, jumped on the first offering from Pedro and picks up a base hit to center.
Now 4 hits scattered around here this afternoon to this point for the Texas Rangers. Of course, the big hit, the home run by Gonzalez back in the 2nd inning. First pitch fastball right back up the middle for McLemore. Continues a hitting streak for him now to 5 games.
Rusty Greer up next for the Rangers. Greer takes the called strike on the outside corner. And a little bit of difficulty here in the 9th inning with the leadoff single by McLemore. Tom Gordon beginning to warm up just in case Pedro can't go the distance in this one. Foul at the plate by Greer, and it's 0-2. This one inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Greer has grounded out to second twice and popped to short. Never more than a hit an inning in any one inning for the Rangers here today. Never more than 1 base runner in any inning. Martinez has been dominant. 1-2 pitch is slide down the left field line. Off the facing of the Nesson box.
Nesson box filled up this afternoon. A lot of people skipping work, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I
watch
think so.
This game.
Slide out of the office, and anybody you recognize?
Freeze frame that, and we'll be able to discipline him later. Well, not us actually, but Bob Whitewater.
Beautiful breaking ball, and knowing it at the plate is Greer. He just walked back towards the dugout. That's 10 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez.
Well, I don't recall a game this season, Bob, where he's had a better curveball than he's had this afternoon. A number of the strikeouts with this same pitch. He will freeze Rusty Greer.
The designated hitter.
And now a double-digit strikeout game for Martinez.
34 in his career, 7 of them coming this year. Another K up on the wall out in the bleachers. The Greer is gone. Here's Juan Gonzalez. In the dirt, blocked by Hatteberg. 1 ball, no strikes. So it's a ball and no strikes. Gonzalez homered in the 2nd, called out on strikes in the 4th, and popped up to Benjamin at second base in the 7th. Fouled at the plate, right off the foot of Gonzalez. Has him doing a dance.
A different fastball this time. Turned the ball over, down and in, and right off the foot of Juan Gonzalez.
Still dancing. Pedro Martinez, all business here at Fenway Park this afternoon. Good pitch on the outside corner, 1-2. Crowd is now roaring on every called strike.
Well, you have to have a look at disgust if you're Gonzalez. The ball appeared to be outside, and even if you swing at it, what are you going to do with it? I mean, almost an impossible pitch.
Pedro has Gonzalez in the hole, 1-2. Just outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And just about the exact same pitch or location as the pitch before. Tries the curveball this time. That was called a strike last pitch. This time it's a ball.
Just off the outer edge. Here's the 2-2 from Pedro. Fly ball to center field. Damon Buford shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. 2 out, so 2 gone in the Texas ninth. 1 to go. 1 to go for a complete game for Martinez. 1 to go for his 16th win of the season. And 1 to go to give the Red Sox the bullpen at least the afternoon off. But a tough hitter here in Will Clark. Tough guy to get for the final out. Swing and a miss. Clark is down a strike. Clark is 0 for 3 against Pedro today. Has struck out, robbed by Vaughn on a nice play at first base back in the 3rd inning, and then popped up to Benjamin in the 7th. Shoots the fastball, but missed the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Still at 94 miles an hour here in the 9th.
There's his strike, 1-2. Well, this big crowd here at Fenway Park comes to its feet. Red Sox try and put an end to this brief 2-game losing streak. Riding on the shoulders of Pedro Martinez. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Laced towards the gap out in right center field. Scooting over to try and cut it off out there is Darren Lewis. It'll be a base hit as McLemore makes his way to 3rd. So 1st and 3rd for the Texans as things get more interesting here in the 9th, because that will bring the tying run to the plate, and it will bring Jimmy Williams out of the Red Sox dugout, and it will bring Tom Gordon into the ball game. So Pedro Martinez takes his mates right up to the final out. He goes 8 2/3 in a masterful performance here against the Rangers. A big round of applause for the Red Sox ace. A 10 strikeout ball game for Martinez, who will depart with a 4-1 lead. So we'll take a break. Back with Tom Gordon against Pudge Rodriguez right after this.
Nomar Garciaparra. In your first year in the majors, you bashed 209 hits, a Red Sox rookie record. 44 doubles, 11 triples, and 30 home runs for a .306 average. You cleaned up the middle infield like a vacuum and became the American League Rookie of the Year. Now what are you going to do?
Break in a new pair of batting gloves.
Visit Friendly Fenway as Nomar wears out the Velcro and the American League East. Boston Red Sox baseball. What a game. We get busy.
Roll that videotape.
Action. Reaction.
Oh, baby.
Woo. I will be ready.
Sports satisfaction. And Earl Wright. Kevin Frazier.
Fox Sports News. Prime time.
We are there. Fox Sports News. Weeknights Check local listings.
Back here, top half the ninth inning at Fenway Park, a 4-1 lead for Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox. Martinez walked the Sox right to the edge, down to the final out. Could not get Will Clark, who came through with the base hit. So Pedro will take his spot in the Red Sox dugout. See how Tom Gordon fares here, as Gordon is matched up with Ivan Rodriguez.
Save number 34 coming against Minnesota on the 14th. 34 and 35 opportunities. He's had 31 straight, the longest current streak in the major leagues.
McLemore at third, Clark at first. 2 on, 2 outs for the Rangers. Pudge Rodriguez, first ball hitting, fouls it back. 1 for 3 for Rodriguez. Had an infield single his last at bat in the 7th. It dribbled out in front of the plate, and Scott Hatteberg couldn't make a play on it. Up high. 1-1.
Good numbers for Rodriguez against Tom Gordon. 10 for 32.
Fouled away, down to his last strike now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, the crowd, this big crowd, for this matinee at Fenway, standing in anticipation of the final out. Fly ball left field. Troy O'Leary over in left center makes the call and the catch, and the ball game is over. The Red Sox, behind Pedro Martinez with a save from Tom Gordon, close out a 2-game losing streak as they beat the Texas Rangers here in the front end of this day-night doubleheader. The Sox beating the Texans by a final count of 4-1. Sox coming through with that big 4-run 6th inning. After falling behind early on the home run by Gonzalez back in the 2nd. A great outing by Pedro, who goes 8 2/3. Martinez gave up 1 run, 5 hits. He racked up 10 strikeouts, 34th career 10 strikeout game, and the 7th time this year that Pedro Martinez, Jerry, has struck out 10 or more hitters.
Well, you could tell from the beginning of the game, Bob, that he was on his game. After that home run he allowed to Gonzalez in the 2nd inning, he did not allow another hit until the 6th inning, and he was working quickly. I felt the best curveball that he's had in quite some time in a game. Got a lot of outs and strikeouts with that today, and took the challenge. Joe Kerrigan challenged his pitching staff. We need more innings. Well, Pedro certainly provided that today.
Now, coming into this one, the Red Sox starters had gone 18 1/3 total innings in the last 4 ball games.